Hello there, I am Jake Leiper, better known as DDR Jake, the game director for Europa Universalis 4, and this is one hearty greetings to the fans of Steinwallen. Alright, let's do this.
Yeah, let's do this. I'm interested in the philosophy of the new DLCs like Rule Britannia and now upcoming Dharma. On the one hand, it has a strong focus on a single region, but on the other hand, there are also a lot of game mechanics for the rest of the world. Is this the sweet spot for the new DLCs?
We believe so. There was a great success with Rule Britannia. We were trying a new immersion pack model there. Indeed, you may remember we ran with Third Rome as the first immersion pack for Europa Universalis, and we did a lot of poking around into the feedback that we got on it. And we found that, we did some pretty good historical immersion stuff there, but people were hungry for more. They came to us and said, okay, it's all not fine and well, but really I only maybe play one Russia game and then I move on, I want some more. So we're like, okay, we will obviously focus on the British region here in Rule Britannia. We will really immerse people in the British play, but we will also open it up so that there is something for everyone there. This was, of course, working on the feedback that we got there. And like I said, I think we did hit a good spot there. We got a lot of great reception on it. And the mission system as well. Very focused on British stuff. Huge mission trees available for the Irish, the English, the Scottish, and from Great Britain as well. And the whole world saw that change as well. And that really helped us hit a sweet spot there.
And the same will be with Dharma.
So in Dharma, it's not an immersion pack, it's a full expansion, but once again, yes, absolutely. India, it's going to be India like you've never known it before. We put so much work in, so much love in India, you're just going to have a blast there. But of course, there's people like, my name is Joe Blogs, and I play 2,000 hours of Portugal only. And we go, well, hot damn, we've got stuff across the world for you, and we have big overhauls that people are going to love there. The whole government reforms, we're changing up policies, estates. So, if you play in India, you're going to have a blast. But again, the rest of the world are going to feel the rippling effects of what we put into the expansion.
Okay. According to which criteria you decide about the new regions of the new DLCs?
So this great thing where I just spin a globe, close my eyes, and point my finger down there.
I don't believe this.
No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. Yeah, so for the longest time, Europa... As the content was made for Europa, the rest of the world, as it's often referred to, felt like it was being left a bit in the lurch. I'll even go that far, in the lurch there. So we've made a coordinated effort here to really bring the whole world alive. Yes, it is Europa Universalis, but what is Europe without the rest of the world being an exciting and vibrant place to play? So, of course, Mandate of Heaven focused very much in the Far East, Cradle of Civilization, doing the Near East, Middle East. And, the next logical step, obviously, is a big, hearty take on India. And India is so important to the time frame. We really had to enrich the experience there. So there is method to the madness here.
And is there a rhythm, Europe, rest of the world, Europe, rest of the world?
There's not a conscious effort in doing Europe, rest of the world, Europe, rest of the world. We want the rest of the world to look and play damn well, and I've been playing around with Dharma, and we're definitely there.
Okay. How important is the historical research during the work on DLC? How are you doing this exactly?
So I have a philosophy that we really have a moral obligation to model history the best way that we can. Because we should not be lying to you and telling you that history was one way when in fact it was not. But ultimately, history is giving us the direction here, but they ultimately they give us the tone for the mechanics that we put into the game. We want the mechanics that we put in to feel historically relevant for the era here. So yes, historical accuracy, very important, and we don't want to misguide anybody here. Lots of research goes in. We have piles and piles of books at the office. I don't know if you've been to the office before, but you'll see rows of historical texts that people use for their research. And as soon as we know what area we're going to, especially the content design team, just hone in on those, and you will definitely see the fruits of that labor in India, in Dharma.
And do you have special researcher, or is this one point of content designer?
So our content designers, they are the ones that put the bulk of the research in, because obviously they work on the map, the countries, the ideas, the missions, and the fruits of their labours are reflected there massively. And in fact, I'm going to plug the mission trees that we put in Dharma here. You are definitely going to see it there.
Okay. Back to the DLCs. What do you mean? How good is EU4 playable without DLCs? Have you ever tried this?
Oh yeah, I've played EU4 without the DLCs. And one thing that I've noticed is when you don't have the DLCs, that's when you really notice what you're missing out on.
Yeah.
But I've also spoken to people that have played without DLCs for one reason or another. They go, no, I'm just playing the base game. And we have put so much work into the base game. If you didn't buy any expansions for EU4, you have still received 25, soon to be 26 whole updates with loads of fixes and features and changes. The entire map. You spend the whole game looking at the map, and that map has always had the free updates put into it. So your experience has still been massively enriched.
Okay, and EU4 costs with all DLCs currently around 200 till 300 euros.
Man,
do you think this could be a problem for potential new players? Maybe.
So you always see that image floating around where somebody goes to Steam and they select all. It's like 200. Yeah. It makes for the funny story, right? EU4 is going to make me bankrupt. They're making hundreds off me. EU4 is a game that we have had in constant development for over 5 years, and putting together all the things that we put out in expansions and unit packs and all that for the game. Yeah, of course it comes to this figure. It's kind of misleading though, because this is content that we put out, as I said, periodically over 5 years.
Yeah.
If you had to, for example, pay a monthly subscription and you played Europa for 5 years, you're gonna have paid quite a bit more than that. No, I stand by it, and if that price tag scares you away, I mean, we put sales out on our stuff all the time.
Yeah,
all the time.
Okay, let's now come to some concrete point stuffs from my audience.
Excellent. These questions from the audience, please.
Yeah. They told me I have to ask you this.
Excellent. I look forward to it.
In the late game, there are often some big realms with a lot of power. How about if it would be harder to keep these countries stable?
I don't want to spoil anything on that front, but we may have plans in the works there.
Oh.
It's something that we do get feedback on, and yes, we don't have enough turmoils for a country that's doing successfully. There is a bigger question here: how do you make losing fun in a game? Because if we wanted you to face difficulties, in the game a lot of it is based on expansion, right? And if you've done really well, if you've taken Luxembourg and now you have a very hearty German mainland here, and then you're being told, oh, no, for your success, you're in trouble now. It's very difficult to make that feel fun and engaging without just feeling like you are punishing the player. But without going into specifics, we acknowledge that this is feedback, and we have some ideas.
All right. What about disadvantages if your military beat a rebellion, maybe through a negative impact on provinces or anything else?
So you mean the population rises up, you savagely beat them down as you should, and suddenly you should be feeling the affections because yes, you've beaten and battered your population. It could certainly stand to have more of a negative impact, but it still goes back to that feeling of how do we make the losing, as we say, feel fun there.
Same point, okay.
Because in the end, yes, you have the revolts because you've conquered land, of course, they want their liberation. If you beat them down and then get told, you savagely beat them down, now they won't give you tax or anything, it can be too easy to feel like you're in that negative feedback loop. And that, by all means, we want to avoid. We want to avoid you feeling like you're getting kicked for success. So the current situation, again, it's maybe not enough inner strife, but it's the lesser of the two evils. As I said, though, and again, without going into details, there are plans in there.
Okay. One thing that bothers me personally is that you can change a culture in a province with one click. It seems strange to me. do you believe, for example, that the English could change the Scottish culture in such a fast way?
I don't think the English certainly clicked a button, but Scotland was very, very heavily anglicised in the days. Okay, but I get the root point here. Culture change is a very vast and deep topic with touches on a lot of controversial stuff, and we give it down to the click of a button. There's a big philosophy in EU4 in direct actions. Modern points derive a lot of that. You will directly increase your stability. You will directly be able to impact on your war exhaustion. A lot of things you do the action, and this is also reflected in the culture changing. There are ideas, and in fact how it previously used to be in a previous iteration, where it was a long time but ultimately random spread of cultures that you had very little impact on. I appreciate that some people want it to be a bit more involved than the click of the button, but the idea here again is you impact on this. You want to have your ideal France, where everyone speaks French, there are no Bretons whatsoever, and you will have we empower you to drive them out. Oh man. Okay. This is to make me sounding like a dictator. But no, the ultimate philosophy here is giving you that agency and direct action approach to dealing with it.
Okay, so at this point there is gameplay more important than historical accuracy.
I will go with that. Yes, I feel it is more important gameplay-wise for you to have that control over. And as I said, yes, we believe in history showing us the light here, but it ultimately takes a back seat to the gameplay.
Yeah,
we want it to feel relevant to the situation, but it must ultimately be enjoyable.
Yeah. The 4 system during warfare is
yes.
It's not very simply
zone of control. Zone of control. And without joking, zone of control, best change we ever made to military. But carry on. I believe you.
It's hard to understand. Okay.
Yes.
I think it works, but it's hard to understand. Is that a point for change maybe in the future?
The biggest problem with zone of control from my point of view is the way that we communicate what you can and cannot do in the game. It's the rules are certainly here, there, and everywhere for it. But we ultimately worked out a lot of the stuff here. The main problem we have is showing where you can and cannot go. There really should be a clearer idea of what walls you have to bring down in order to proceed. So that is a problem that we recognize. But the system update that we did for having zone of control was without doubt the best thing that we did for warfare. We wanted to vastly reduce the tedium of sieging down all provinces, and no strategic depth because you could just charge through and defeat enemy armies. So great change, and as is something that can be said about a lot of the things we implement, perhaps not the best shown.
Yeah. Okay. Which big points, which game mechanics do you think about change in the future? What are your agenda?
Now there's just Okay. Estates has been one of the biggest prickly points for me that's in the game, and it's something that we openly acknowledge as we could have done it a lot better and should really be revisiting and dealing with. And this is kind of a cheat answer for me because yes, in Dharma, of course.
In Dharma.
No, but this here's the thing. EU4 has been around for over 5 years, and we're not afraid to dig out stuff and completely redo it as we see fit. And the States, like I said, big prickly point for me. There was a lot of babysitting with it, which is absolutely the last thing you want to do. You've finished your mighty conquest, and now people come, please give land. So we decided to completely revisit that, tackle the problems that there were with it, and expand further with the States. And I think we've done a bang-up job with it. Of course, now you've got the smile that says, yes, what else? What else?
This point we know.
No. But this is exactly the point. We play our games ourselves a lot in the office. And of course, we see these issues. We're the players as well. And in fact, we're the players we most want to please. We make the games that we want to play. So we do see these things come up, and we come up with ways of dealing with them. We're not afraid to reach in deep and change the sacred and holy stuff.
Okay. Last question: which country have you played most in?
Golden Horde, without a doubt.
Yeah, why?
Yes, the Great Horde now, but they're always the Golden Horde. The Great Horde is an immediate, aggressive nation to play. You will not survive if you play nice. So you must subjugate the Russians. You must destroy your fellow Tatars, unite the area, and it's just non-stop aggressive fun. And they will always have that special place in my heart. However, I want to give a special shout out to Muscovy, because I like playing a lot of hard starts in our game. But when I want to unwind, when I go, okay, right, I need to play some Europa and reflect on some of the latest changes that we've made, and I just want to have an easy time with it, I pick Muscovy because I will utterly crush down on Novgorod, remove any dissidents, annihilate the hordes, and I make sure everybody in Scandinavia speaks Finnish.
Okay, maybe a nice inspiration for my audience. Jake, thanks a lot for this.
It's been a pleasure.
Interview.